Hey, so I was trying to do this with headphones, but it wasn't seeming to work. So hopefully you guys can hear me. This is another episode of Wasteland Convos, and this time I am going to have on my other co-host from the Voices of Color podcast, Victoria Waba. So, we're just gonna dive into her work, see all the things that she does, her creative writing process. She does tarot card reading as well. So we're gonna be getting into that. Before I get her on, let's see what's going on in my world. Uh, we have already locked down a narrator for Planet Dead. So she's in the process of narrating Planet Dead Book 1 right now. I have also been in contact with my cover artists, and they are making a hardcover for Planet Dead, which is going to be an omnibus collection. So it's going to have Planet Dead 1, 2, 3, and the Briggs Boys story inside of it. And the hardcover is going to be epic. Can't wait to see it. It is going to be awesome. Okay, Victoria is here. Okay, 1 second. There we go. Sent out that invite. So yeah, there's a lot of big things happening, and I'm excited.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Doing well. How is the lovely city of New York? Your nice backdrop.
It's lovely. It's really, really hot in my apartment right now, like extremely. But I'm worried if I open the door, we're gonna get a lot of traffic sounds. Open the window.
Okay.
Because I live right above the street here, and it is really nice, but we can sometimes get a lot of traffic.
Okay, that's understandable. I mean,
Mm.
I have like child sounds in the background, and some you'll probably hear baby shark or something sooner or later. But
That's nicer than traffic, so.
that's true. So, for everyone that is watching, which is probably a few people right now, not a giant amount of people, but introduce yourself and let them know what you do.
Oh, okay. I am Victoria Wilder. I am an author. I write mostly dark things where people die across multiple genres. And I also read tarot. I do a lot of spiritual work. I have an online spiritual education course. And I also run an in-person group here in New York where we meet up for like full moons and other spiritual events and have like rituals and meetings for that. So I do a lot of that and I nap a lot. It's my favorite thing to do.
Okay, okay. So you did something with the moon recently? Because I saw the TikTok witches, they were like charging things. I didn't know exactly.
Um, so last night through this morning, the full moon, and it was a lunar eclipse as well. So a lot of spiritual people will do things for that particular full moon. I didn't. I was up all night sewing. So for like last 2 days, I found this beautiful animal print sheet, like a queen size sheet from my old apartment that I never sent to Goodwill. Uh, and so I've been sewing for 2 days with that because I love that.
My mom would love you. She just sits down and she knits and sews and she just goes.
It's so peaceful.
Oh, well, I don't think it'd be peaceful for me since I don't know what I'm doing. I'd probably be aggravated.
I mean, there are moments, but you learn it. Like I don't know, it's real relaxing for me. I can like watch binge stuff on Netflix while I'm sewing, and then I have like a garment or something at the end of it.
Uh, I do that with like painting. Like sometimes I'll paint like I took like little army figures and I made them look like army zombie people and I painted them and I do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'll
that's pretty cool.
paint.
Those little miniatures.
Yeah, I'll paint
Yeah.
guns and stuff. But once we get a house, I'm gonna have a place where I could like put them, and then I'm gonna have a whole like apocalypse zombie invasion thing. The wife,
The craft room.
I'm gonna take over a big section of the house.
I mean, that's the dream.
It is definitely,
You just cover your house in your art. That's the dream.
definitely.
It's my
Okay, so let's walk us through your current like series. I know you've done a few anthologies, but I know you have one specific series going right now. So
So my series is the Journals of Asheron, which I actually kind of regret using that name for my whole series. It's a lot of words. It's just I should have done it like the Lilith series because that's what it is. But we're gonna go with what we got. So the first book is the Lullaby of the Lilith, and I that came to me in a dream like 13 years ago or so,
okay.
and it took me forever to actually make myself finish it. I'm really proud that I did. I mean, I go back and I look at it now, and it's very young and like kind of the mindset I was in when I started that is very different than where I am now. So I'll go back and I'll read it and I'll be like, she's stupid. Like the main character that I used to relate to, I don't know, she's kind of a child. But I still love her. And I'm writing the second book now, which is Scourge of the Lilith, and I have to get back into her head, but she's still young. Like the course of that book is like a year or so. She's still very young, and I have to kind of get back in her headspace with this Scourge of the Lilith book. And I have been avoiding it throughout pretty much all of the pandemic until this NaNoWriMo. I just started writing it again this month, and so it's been tough. It's been really tough, but I like it. So
How
um,
you doing with NaNoWriMo? Are you're knocking it out?
no, I don't expect to. I never win anyway,
Okay.
but I don't expect to do nearly as much as I've done in previous years.
Oh,
It's just getting the ball rolling and getting those juices going so that I can actually make progress on this book is what I really want. So it's helping me with that. But as far as like getting a lot of words, I don't do that.
yeah, like I don't know. I think I've decided NaNoWriMo is a great jump off point. It's a
Mhm.
get started, but
Yeah.
every time it comes around, I'm just like, I'm gonna do it, and then day three comes, and I'm like, this is trash. I'm not doing
It is too much.
it. I don't know. It
I
feels
do it to finish books.
yeah.
So like I've never started something new for Nano, but I finished Lullaby for the first time I did Nano, and then I finished my novel Diva, another Nano. So
What,
I do it to finish books, but I don't think that's gonna happen this year.
I've never
I don't think we're gonna finish Scorch this month.
I've never heard you talk about Diva. What's that?
Oh, I posted on Patreon more than anything.
Okay.
It's more of a novella. It's only like 45,000 words,
Mm-hmm.
and it is I don't know how to explain it. So Diva is about a young lady named Marissa who breaks into a woman's house, and the woman is Diva, and Diva is this mysterious, beautiful, rich lady, and she meets Marissa, and she's like, "I like you, even though you just broke into my house. I want to keep you." And so there's a lot of issues for Marissa in whether she can trust this. Marissa is a mixed young teenager. So her dad is black and her mom is white. And her dad's a cop. They're a low income family. And she's not sure if she can trust this rich white lady who's trying to get all up in her life.
Mm-hmm.
But she also has to deal with a mother who is very distant and has an addiction, and a father who is an alcoholic. And he's not abusive, but he's very cold and kind of aggressive. And she's like trying to figure out who she can trust. And I don't want to give too much away. Oh, well, I guess it happens in the first chapter. People die. Like it's a book I wrote, so people die. Like at least 6 people die in this book. Yeah. And I think it's fun. I think it's actually I love Lullaby of the Lilith, but I actually have a lot more fun thinking about Diva, even though that is meant to be a standalone and not a series.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a fun world. It's not magical or anything.
Yeah.
It's just the normal world, but I like it.
I don't know if you looked into Kindle Vella or anything, but that sounds like something that would do well on Vella.
You know,
Because Vella,
that is something I've like. We've talked about Vella a couple of times, and then I just kind of stopped thinking about it.
Well,
It's not something I tried.
yeah, it's very episodic, and a lot of the things that are doing well are kind of like, I guess, real world dramas or something, and like just like dramatic. I mean, fantasy and stuff does well too, but I feel like a lot of kind of like the novella ish things or telenovela ish type things are doing very well. So
Okay.
that sounds like it'd be good. I keep thinking of like Hollywood Boulevard, like when you were describing it. That's
I don't know that.
oh it's the old black and white movie, and that line, I'm ready for my close up, Mr. DeVille. That's where it comes from.
Oh, that's what that's from.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna add that to my list.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a great movie. It's so great.
Yeah.
I watched it.
I like black and whites.
Hmm?
What'd you say?
I said I watched it for my film class.
Oh, nice. We, in one of my film classes, we watched La Dolce Vita, and that's probably where I first started really loving black and white movies. And it's like this old Italian movie about irreverent, rich Italian people, basically. Yeah.
I don't seek out too many black and white movies, but like I'm obsessed with Twilight Zone, so I've always black bother me. I'll watch black and white all the time because I'll just
Yeah, I watch black and white movies quite a lot. There are hundreds on YouTube, so I'll just pull one up, and especially this year with the pandemic, I have watched so many just really cool movies that I had never heard of. And some I had heard of but never watched. Like My Man Godfrey, I had heard the name before, but I never saw that till this year. Hey, baby.
see you took a deep dive into the classics, and I was watching Tiger King and
Tiger King. Oh, right. I forgot that that was a thing. Yeah, I never saw that either. Was that a reality show, or was that like something somebody made up? Because it sounded
It was a documentary series. It was very real.
okay.
I would say it's kind of like if some trailer park meth people owned a zoo and everything that fell out because of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I might have seen a couple of those.
Okay.
And then baby.
So, okay. So, what is the overall plan for your series?
Um, for the Lilith series, so I want to, on a smaller scale, I want to publish Scourge by next summer. So I'm thinking I'm going to publish all these books on my birthday because that just seems like the right thing to do. But the Journals of Asheron series, the plan is to have 4 books total.
Mm-hmm.
3 that are full novels, and then 1 that is a series of smaller vignettes that are based in the world of the Lilith. And then if there's anything after that, that'll just be like side stuff. But that has been the plan since I finished the first book. I was like, all right, I'm gonna need more time to play with this world.
Okay.
And that's really why I'm doing it, because I just want to hang out with them a little bit longer.
And if you love the world, just stay in it. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I don't know if Mark Tufio or whatever, he makes the zombie Fallout series. I would hope he loves his world because I think there's like 38 books or something. So
I mean, it would seem so.
yeah, I would hope
It also probably needs him a lot of money at this point, so there's a reason.
it does.
I like to branch out too, so that's why you mentioned the short stories. That's part of why I do that, because I like to just mess around with whatever stories I can make up. And I'm planning something new for Patreon because I don't want to put all of Diva on my Patreon. I'm putting up to 19 chapters,
Okay.
and the last chapter I think will be up either next month or in January. But after that, I want to try a new form of storytelling that involves video games and video recordings.
Okay.
So I just want to play video games.
You just want to play video games?
I just want to play The Sims and tell a story with The Sims. So
I mean, you can start here. Oh, that'd actually be really cool. Like to just tell a whole little like book novel with The Sims and stuff.
it's like a little journey. So I have the story set up, and I don't want to give too much away because I am doing it for Patreon. But it's essentially fixing up and running an asylum, and it's like a young woman starting out on her own, which much of the story is just going to be me making it up as I play the game on camera.
That sounds
So,
that sounds great. I'd love to see that. That's cool. So
oh, join me on Patreon.
join the Patreon. I like that pitch. Okay. So all right. So what other creative aspects have you've been doing lately? Like, are you starting another anthology? Are you creating another anthology, or?
I do want to do another anthology. I wanted to do one for Halloween, but the the timing just wasn't right.
Yeah.
But I would really like to, because most of the authors we've worked with for these have been really kind of horror type authors or fantasy,
Yeah.
and we've really kind of not done those as a genre. So I kind of just want to do a horror one so that everybody can just shine. So I'd like to just give people the opportunity to do whatever is their genre,
Yeah.
and as many as I want to do, as many authors as we have that participate, as many years as this can go on, I want it to go on. I want to just keep making anthologies forever if I can.
Yeah,
So.
I would love to do horror because I remember when you invited me for the romance one, I was a little put back. I was a little thrown back. I was like, I don't write romance. I don't know what to do.
I just like trying new things, and I like making my friends try new
Yeah,
things.
no,
I just branch out a little.
definitely cool. And yeah, I got a place for me to put my story, so that was definitely okay.
Well, you'll have a place with me anytime.
Oh, thank you. So let's talk about your card reading because I've had you read my cards before and it was amazing. So
Hmm,
talk about
that's good. I'm
how you
glad.
got to that.
Well, I've been in a spiritual path since I was like 12 years old, so it's quite a long time. And in high school, a friend of mine gave me a tarot deck. She gave me, hold on, I'm going to show you my first ever tarot deck because I have had this thing since high school.
Mhm.
And I didn't really actually know how to read with it. I would do like spell work with it. I would play games with it, but I didn't know how to read with it for years. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, I just decided I was going to start pulling one card a day and learn.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of spiraled from there. Now I have, I'm going to, so like, these are all the cards that I have on, like, out. Like, these are all the different decks. It's like 10 or 11 decks. I got some here. I'm making decks of my own. So I have 3 Oracle decks that I have on my Etsy store, and I'm working on a tarot deck that I would like to have out by the middle of December.
Okay.
So that's happening, and like it's I don't want to call it an addiction, but it spirals, and I have a lot, and I just want to keep getting more decks. I love reading for people. It's not just that I love the decks, that's like a fun part for me. But when I'm reading for clients and like what you just said about how you liked my reading,
Yeah.
I don't know, it just feels really good to know that I'm doing something that helps people in some way. Like a lot of people say that it helps give them guidance, it helps them make decisions for some big thing that's happening, it helps them understand where their job is going or anything like that, whatever they ask for. But I don't know, it feels like a service that it doesn't take a lot from me to give, and it seems just from the clients I've had that it gives a lot more than it feels like for me. So I like that.
I definitely believe people are born with gifts and are able to like use these tools to help guide things, and it just gives me clarity and helps me just stop stressing about things and just
Yeah.
channel myself into one avenue. So I definitely like getting my cards read and stuff. So it's awesome.
I mean, I like getting read too. I'm not great at reading for myself. I do it, but I definitely prefer to have somebody give me a reading.
Have you,
I think that distance helps bring some clarity.
there's a big community of it on TikTok. Have you ventured into that? And
I don't use TikTok, so I don't. I've actually only seen TikTok in compilations on YouTube. It was the only time I've ever seen like TikTok videos and stuff. So.
download the app, at least watch the video.
No, I'm like a grandma. I don't need. I have 3 social media, and that's all I need. It's already too much.
Oh.
It's exhausting. Like, Twitter is a lot. I keep Facebook because that's where my mama is and my sisters and everybody. But I'm not. I look at my memories on there, and that's kind of it. And then Instagram, I like a lot because you get to look at everybody's faces and pictures and all kinds of stuff, and nobody has to talk to each other. You just like things.
Pictures, you don't have to say anything.
Yeah, exactly. You just look at pictures and you're like, nice,
Yeah.
and that's it.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I'm addicted to social media. I'm like everywhere. I
Yeah.
a lot. I'm not.
I feel like I've been on social media for so long that I'm just kind of burned out from it. Like before we called it social media, I was on social media. I was before MySpace. I was using social media, like Zanga and LiveJournal, those things. Black Planet was a thing. Like I was on everything, and now I'm tired and old, and I just want to be alone in my house with plants. That's it.
I don't need these people.
No internet, thank you. Except for video games. I want to play video games and watch YouTube.
Okay, well that's understandable. I need to get into video games or get back into video games. We haven't played too much in a while.
No, I mean I don't play a lot. I mostly just play The Sims,
Yeah.
and then Alice the Madness, which is a series of something Mickey. What's his name? I know the name. It's just when I try to remember it, I forget it. But it's a series of video games based on Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
But it's dark and she's kind of mad. She's like actually crazy.
Yeah.
And there's blood and it's great.
Yeah.
So those are like the only two games I play excitedly, and GTA. So that's fine.
Okay. So okay, what's your writing process like nowadays?
So I've actually, because like I said, I have barely been writing all year. I'm really just trying to make sure I get some writing done every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been jumping from my computer to my phone. I've been using Google Drive on my phone and going back and forth there, and really just writing when the urge strikes and trying to make sure I do it before midnight. Like trying to make sure I get some writing in every day before midnight. So that's really just my current practice right now.
Yeah.
It's not very disciplined, not very strict, but I'm just happy that there are words happening.
Yeah.
You know, that the book is happening.
Definitely the apps that allow you to write on your phone, they're just kind of like lifesavers. Like sometimes I'm down and I'm just like, I'm not doing anything. Let me get back to a short story, or let me get back to other things. So that's definitely.
Yeah. Sometimes you're like, I just want to lay in bed, but I have it right here. So let me just put a few words in, and then you find out you wrote like 200-300 words just sitting there. So that actually, I've probably written more words on my phone than I have been on my computer this month. So.
Because I think like we just kind of talk ourselves out of sitting in the chair. Like once you sit in the chair, then you grind it out, but you just kind of yourself out of even going there. You're just like
right.
Yeah.
It takes time. I've also kind of changed my work setup, and so a lot of my I've been on the couch more than at the desk, and kind of switched with my roommate who's at the desk more now, and I found that I have way less of a desire to do anything productive on my computer when I'm on the couch, because the display is this huge TV. And so I just want to put on like videos on the big TV and do something with my hands on the couch, like sewing or drawing or painting or something. I'd rather do that than actually writing. So that makes me feel like I'm not much of a writer a lot of the time. Like I feel like all my writing peers are just always talking and thinking about writing. It's like, okay, but what about other things? Let's do the other things too.
I mean, I just feel like people just need outlets for their creativity. Like I use writing a lot, but I do like visual outlets sometimes. Like paint. My thing is just like either painting or just making something look different. I probably can't paint a picture, but I like to paint objects and stain objects, things like that. So that's fun. So it's
probably painting a picture.
Yeah, probably if I sit down and actually put my mind into it. But yeah, it's just all about getting your creativity out one way or another.
Yeah. Actually, a friend group of mine, uh, we are going to start in December 10th. We're going to start a regular meetup where we paint or draw. I think we're going to start with drawing and painting, but we'll probably do whatever comes to mind. But it's we met for Halloween.
Okay.
She had a Halloween party, and we were just talking about how we miss being creative and miss doing things in a group and blah blah blah. And it kind of worked its way into this really fun thing where we're going to be meeting at like regular times and painting and hanging out and chatting. So I think that's going to be really nice because you're not only doing something. I'm not only doing something creative, but I'm going to be with people and social, and that's
Yeah,
the usual for me. So
that's
gonna enjoy it.
that's fun. I've wanted to do like a writer's retreat or something where just get like-minded people together and work on something. So that sounds fun. I definitely.
We had a plan, our group, the Voices of, to meet in like New Orleans or something. Are we ever gonna do that?
Yes, I believe that was something we talked about. I don't know if it's a plan. I think it was just thrown.
We had an idea, I
Yeah,
guess.
we have an idea. It hasn't formed yet.
Oh my God, don't look here.
Huh?
Wow. Wow. Okay. This is why I wear like white beaters. I wear vests and stuff. So that I'm not wearing anything under my pants.
Oh, okay.
I'm just so sweaty. Like, look at that. You can see that? They're just always so sweaty. Like, this isn't even a new thing. Constant sweat. Oh, I designed this shirt, by the way.
Oh, you did?
It says, time is irrelevant, or whatever Einstein said.
Oh,
See that?
oh.
It's on my Etsy store. It's got sweat everywhere, but I don't sell them like this. I don't sell them covered in my sweat. They're normal. They're dry and clean. I
Dry
promise.
shirts. Okay. On your.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, let's talk about being a Black creative in the indie space or the indie industry, self-publishing. How has it been for you from like start to now? Have you run into any obstacles or has it been smooth sailing?
For me, it's been smooth. I have met a lot of different creators. I have worked like Black creators. I've been able to work with really cool people. I've done so much more cool stuff with like actively seeking out other Black and creators of color. I've just done really interesting stuff, and I'm sure it has to do with my personality because I don't care about other people's opinions all that much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard and I really don't care what's going on. So I don't know what's going on in industries unless it's directly affecting someone I know or me.
Okay.
So essentially, I have had a good time because I've been clueless. I've just been able to work with cool people
Yeah.
and not pay attention to anything else and just do my work and get it out.
Yeah.
That's been nice. I really had no issues personally. It's nice.
That's good.
It's cool.
I think like you're the closest person to my genre that like because I don't know, I guess I communicate with Black authors, but most of the ones that I'm close to are always in a different genre. It's like, oh, I write fantasy, I write romance.
Yeah. It's a lot of fantasy and like erotica and romance authors.
To kill zombies. Like, what's wrong?
Yeah. Make things die, please. Just make things die. There was this one book I was reading and I wanted so bad to like it, but I was halfway through and I could tell that nobody was gonna die. Like at first I thought there were signs, but I was like, that's not gonna happen. And stop reading the book. Listen, there's no blood here.
I was like, because me and the wife, we were planning on doing some street lit. So I was like, well, let me sit down and actually read some, get a feel for it. And I was happily surprised how many people died in my street lit book. I was like, oh my God.
What do you mean when you say street lit? See, I know nothing about like industry. I'm really bad at everything I do.
I think it's just like just like a nickname for like urban romances with yeah, urban black romances that focus on like inner city, and it's like a lot of drama, a lot of I wouldn't say there's yeah, it's just
I have read
drama.
books like what you're saying.
Yeah,
I have read those things. I think when you said urban,
yeah.
then I understood it. Like I really don't know titles. I didn't know. I still don't really know the genre of my book. I gave it a genre, but I don't really know if that's accurate. So,
Oh,
no.
what genre did you pick?
Dark urban or gothic urban fantasy for Lullaby, and Scourge's dark urban fantasy.
That's,
So,
that sounds about
because these are vampires, basically. Lilith two are vampires.
yeah.
So, and
Urban.
in the cities.
That sounds right.
So, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you read Lullaby. I remember, I think you were reading like a little bit of it when it first came out, and I remember a text you sent me about Cayenne, and that text lives in my heart. But I don't want to say it because it could be a spoiler for anybody who wants to read the book. But it made me feel good, so thanks for that.
Yeah. I like seeing people create. I like people just putting themselves out there and chasing their dreams and whatnot. I definitely love hanging out with y'all, which is I probably started doing this show because I just miss talking to people.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's very fair. I miss it too.
Yeah.
We gotta do it. We can do it again.
Yeah.
We're not done. We're not done. We're just on hiatus.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep saying
just taking a small break, and then we'll be back to Voices of Color. Like that.
Yeah.
That was definitely a fun experience, and it was great meeting everybody and just getting connected with people in the group. So, and I definitely didn't think a podcast would come from it. And I was actually surprised you guys kept me because like I'd be showing up and people were like, "Oh, so what's the topic today?" And I was just like, "I'm just here. I don't know."
I don't know. I think we're all pretty clueless, but that's the best part of it. Like we're all a little confused about what we're doing, but we're having fun.
Oh, but you guys are so like, you know your stuff. You're so like craft oriented. Like
nothing.
The podcast is finished recording. I go to my wife. I'm like, they're so damn smart. I don't know what they're talking about.
I mean, that's how I feel about you all too. Especially when you're talking about like the new stuff in the industry. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm sorry if there are children watching this. Hell's not a bad word, is it?
What?
Say it again. I'm sorry. Hell. Oh, damn it. Yeah, I don't know anything at all. Like I basically feel like I'm just Jon Snow all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just making stuff. And that's what I love seeing other people do. Just making stuff. And keep it up. It's fun.
I get lost in like the business aspect of things. I love the marketing and the learning new little things to do. I love talking marketing and I love talking money. But a lot of people,
that's good for business.
Like money. They'll be like, "Yeah, I did really well. How much you make?" I don't know. Like, why do you need to know? Why? I was just like, "Oh." But
I don't even say I did really well because it would be a lie. I think it is really, really important to understand the marketing.
Yeah.
And it's something I constantly am trying to understand and learn, and it just doesn't stick. Either that or I'm just really lazy and I don't do it. And but either way, it's not. I'm trying to learn this stuff, but it's really hard for me to like. I think part of me is just like I don't want to have to advertise because I hate advertisements.
Yeah.
I pay for Spotify Premium specifically because I don't want ads. I use ad blockers on my computer. Don't tell anybody. I use ad blockers on my computer because I just can't have ads, and I will throw my phone across the room if I'm watching a video on YouTube and an ad pops up. I will get so angry. So like the idea of making those and putting those out, I feel like subconsciously I'm just resisting it. I'm just I don't want to market to people because I hate when people market to me.
So I definitely think for someone like you, what you should just do with your social media is just live your life and live your creativity and allow people
I mean, that's what I have been doing.
to get to know you. And then, like, if you have any excess cash, just throw it into ads that you don't have to, like, focus on. They're doing the little stuff. And then you'll have people over here that's like, oh, she's cool. She has a book. And then they'll check it out instead of, like, making posts and stuff. Because I hate making posts too. Because nothing feels worse than, like, make this nice fancy post and throw it into the world, and then it feels like it got sucked into a black hole because like 50 watched, but no one bought the book. So you're just kind of like, oh, okay. Or like
nobody even cared about it. I put all that work into it.
Tons of people are like, I love your design work. I was like, thank you.
Okay, buy my book.
Buy my book. That's what it's for. The pictures are nice, but I want you to buy the book. So yeah.
I do find it like it's just easier to like not think about it.
Yeah.
And just show what I'm working on my social media when I'm in a point where I'm ready to show it.
Yeah.
And hope that the right people find it. So
that's true.
I hope the right people find me. We'll see.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll fall down your rabbit hole and discover you soon.
I hope so. Because this little Alice needs money for food. This little Alice needs money to buy my book. And anything on my Etsy store. I do tarot reads on my Etsy store. I sell shirts. I sell handmade clothes that I make.
Okay.
And I really, really want to sell more of those just so I have an excuse to make more of those. They're fun to make.
How are you making you said you were designing your own tarot cards. How are you going about that? Like,
I use Canva.
Okay.
So I use Canva for like all design stuff, like 99% of anything.
Okay.
And I did the same for my Oracle decks. I'll show you one. Don't look at my sweat. So this is the first deck I made, which is the Soul Healing Oracle deck.
Oh, wow.
It's a cutie. It's all right. I don't know if you can actually see that.
Little kitties.
Oh. Yeah. Got a bunch of different images on it. So this is the first one I made. It's real simple. And then I pumped up the other two decks that I made. And the tarot deck it's going to be a similar style of me using black and white graphics and images that don't have like a ton of detail on them, but they have something. But because they're tarot, it's going to be like the actual, especially with the major arcana, like the images. So there's going to be a lot more going on in the cards than something as simple as like that.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's been tough, but fun, because just trying to figure out how to express the message that I understand the card to hold, as well as the traditional tarot message, as well as trying to kind of incorporate something that makes it a little bit interesting visually.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's a lot to think about, but I'm really enjoying the process. I mean, I'm learning, I think, even more about the tarot as I go, because I have to, I'm making the cards, so I have to think about them a lot more deeper even than when I'm just reading my cards.
Oh, most definitely. That just sounds so cool. And then, like, have you thought about, like, making one for your book? Or making one?
No. Oh. But that would be really cool, like, for the Lilith series. Oh, and also, like, So when I started writing the Lullaby of the Lilith, when I write any of my books, I get pictures offline of like people that I think would be perfect as that character. So the model who is Kyan, I've reached out to him and I'm sending him a signed copy of my book.
Oh, wow.
So like theoretically, if I were to make any kind of images, he might let me use his face, like legally. So that I was just thinking of having him on a card. Like he could totally be a king or the emperor or something. Like,
Yeah, because like
oh man,
for
I'm gonna write that down. That's a good idea.
yeah, for our Realm series, I was making like promotional images, and there's a scene in the book when she sees when she goes gets her cards read. So I made promotional images with the characters and what they represented, the moon, the king, and all that stuff. So like,
Oh,
you know
how,
what's going on, you could definitely do that.
yeah. How did you make those images? Like, did you do it yourself?
Oh yeah, I use Canva. I just use the actors that I thought would be them, and it was
Right.
basic. I just had them. I had the card title, and I was gonna do descriptions and stuff, but then I was like, I'm getting too lost in this when I need to do.
It's a whole different project now.
Yeah, I was like, this
This is an art
is
thing.
different.
I love that though.
Yeah,
I think I might, yeah, I'm gonna look into that. If I were to make it something that I'd sell, I'd obviously only be able to use like images I have the rights to
yeah.
use. But I actually, there's this tarot reader that I watch on YouTube. She just made a new deck with Little Mermaid images, and I was like so worried. I don't know what like if she's legally allowed to do that. So
Is it like Disney's Little Mermaid or just like
yeah, well, it's like it's a bunch of different images, but specifically the majority of it is Disney's Little Mermaid.
uh,
But there's also like a meme in there, and there are like a couple other images that I'm pretty sure belong to someone
yeah,
else. And I'm like, I don't know if she's legally allowed to do that,
legally,
but I'm not going to say anything
but
because I like her readings.
yeah, I guess she just like the most they'll do is like a cease and desist. I don't think
Right.
I'm gonna take you to court over your tarot cards.
Yeah, I doubt it. I don't think they have time for that.
Yeah,
So
Disney would just be like, cut the crap, stop it.
just stop. You know those aren't yours.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah, but yeah, I would definitely think that'd be cool. And then if you did do a whole deck and you finished book two and stuff, you could be like, oh, buy book one and two, and with proof you are entered into a raffle to win this deck and stuff. But I know that's marketing, but
Yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. I can't, my brain can't do too many projects at once. So I'm working on this tarot deck. And I want to finish Scourge by the end of this year, by the end of January at the latest. So I probably won't be able to do them in tandem, but there are two more books in this series, so something like that could happen.
yeah, my
Thank you for the idea. I love it.
my brain won't
That's great.
like it'll be like start this and then start that and you should do this too. Like sometimes scrolling through Canva, I'm like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do something with this. So, but one day,
It's probably okay too, as long as you get stuff done.
yeah, that's true.
I'm a list maker. Like I'll go and be like, all right, I have this idea, but I'm working on this thing, so I'm gonna write this idea down.
Mhm.
But a lot of the times I won't get back to it until I found the notebook. Because I'm also, you know how they say writers have like notebooks that they don't use.
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of writer.
Oh,
I have notebooks all over my apartment that I just pick up at random and I'll write in. But then if I'm looking for a specific note, I got like 20 options for where it could be. I'm like, I don't know what I did because I was writing over there, but then I went over here and wrote in this other notebook, and now I'm in the green notebook. I don't know what the hell's going on. So all my notebooks have stuff in them. It's just none of it is organized or makes any sense.
I've just decided to stay on the notes in my phone instead of writing
Mhm.
notebooks because that's what happens. Like I had it took like a week to find it, but I started the story in one notebook and I was just like, I couldn't find it. I swear it was in the other notebook and I couldn't find it at all, but then I finally found it. So I was just like, I think I'm just gonna stay in the notes and do it this way. So
Right in my hand, in my phone.
yeah, write it in my phone. So that's my game. And now I've been to keep myself from doing too many projects at once. I just made a big old list and I'm just knocking them out as I go. I can't start this until I knock this out. But
Yeah, that seems like the best way to do it.
I've been getting distracted by like because there'll be people on social media and be like, "Oh, we're doing an anthology, submit." And I was like, "Oh, I could do that."
Oh, let me do this real quick. I'll get back to this, I promise.
You're like,
As long as you get back to the list, I think it's fine.
yeah,
Life is a journey, you know? It's all about the little steps. And at the end of the day, if you feel good about what you've done with your time,
Yeah.
then that's what matters.
Right now, I'm working on uh, a novel for what do you call it, for NaNoWriMo, but now I'm focused on this. It's supposed to be a 3,000 short story, a creepypasta. So I'm trying to do a creepypasta where a whole bunch of fuck boys and one fuck girl gets kidnapped, and then they get hunted in the woods by their like ex significant others who paid
Oh,
their lord. And
that's fun.
yeah, so that's what I
Good.
want to try and do. At first, she started off as a vampire, and I was just like, "Nah, I'm just gonna let them get hunted by regular people. That sounds better."
I like that.
Hmm.
I actually like that better
Yeah,
because people do such horrifying things.
yeah,
I think that's probably why I do like Diva the way I do because the Lilith, like, it's by their nature to like take blood.
yeah,
But human characters, um, like Christina in Diva,
yeah,
yeah, blood has to be taken with more thought, I guess.
yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I worry about myself when I'm writing these stories. Because sometimes I just get excited about the cool death. I'm like, yes, look how I killed this guy with a shower curtain. Yay!
Well, as long
I'm supposed to be happy about
as
that.
not acting them out, I think it's perfectly fine. So, as
Mm.
long as we
Yeah, I believe you.
but yeah, I mean, making up the new deaths, those are always the best parts, and the catchy. I like writing different deaths and just like the banter, the witty banter. I like that. That's always
Yeah,
the thing.
I like the snarky characters the most.
Yeah,
Um, Lullaby has this guy Samson, and I'm pretty sure, as far as writing, he's my favorite. He's a cowboy from America. Like all the characters, like British or something, and he's this American cowboy, and I just made him so obnoxious, and he's so fun.
oh, yeah.
He's a danger.
Writing end up dead. I need to probably stop doing that. I need to keep one that I could pull along with me. But so far I killed Ruth, and no, not Ruth, Faith. I've killed.
Not rude.
Yeah, I've killed Faith. I've killed Hector. Um, Quentin's alive. Quentin, I enjoy writing Quentin. He's fun. He's just like um, his occupation is. I based him off of what's his name, uh, Perez Hilton. Yeah, that's who I built.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's who
Okay.
I'm off of, and so that's his whole lifestyle, like celebrity gossip and stuff like that. So he's just like mean and witty and all this stuff, but he really loves people. I don't think Perez Hilton does, but Quentin really loves people.
You're probably right about the real guy. It's fine. This is Planet Dead.
Yeah.
How many books are there? Like 6?
There's three. Okay, there's 3 books in the main series, and then there's 2 novellas. And the main plan is to have 6 books in the main series. So I got 3 more on you.
Wow. It's a lot. Good luck.
Thank you, thank you. But
It's a lot. It's hard staying in a like I love being in that world, but like I said, like there are also a lot of other stories and worlds that I really want to get into.
yeah,
So there's this other book that I've had on the back burner for a few years that I started writing with a friend, and then my friend dropped out and said it was okay for me to continue it, and it just kind of lives in my head. And so I'd like to finish some of these other projects so I can start on that one too. And it's like full on fantasy, and like that's something I've never really done. So
that is like the worst part about writing, because I have these stories in my head, and I just wish they would just project them.
yeah, right.
Like yeah,
So I can read you.
or then like something that I ran into when I was like writing Planet Dead 3 is like I thought of the book so much, I knew how it was gonna end. So I guess I gave myself that self gratification. So I wasn't really driven to like finish it. People were like, when's 3 coming out? I was like, well, I already know how it ended. So
That's part of the problem. That is definitely like I already know the story, so
Yeah.
mm, I don't know. I'm trying. It's hard. I realized recently I don't like writing. Like I love when I'm in the zone when I'm actually writing, but I don't like having to set up and try to write. I don't like having to make myself write.
Yeah.
I don't like trying to force it. But that's really the only way for me to get it done. Because if I just wait until I'm in the mood, I'm never going to be in the mood. There's always so many other things I can be doing.
That's true. That's
But I like editing. I like the after having written.
uh
Yeah.
okay.
Editing my own work, I love doing that. I love rereading it and fixing it.
That's
But the actual writing process, I find so many ways to put it
and
off.
you do have an editing business too, don't you?
I do edit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I call it business.
Okay, let's not put a label on it. You take
But I do freelance editing, which you can find out about on my website, vwilderathome.com. But I do freelance editing just for whoever needs me. I've been doing it since college.
yeah.
And so I just decided to go ahead and put that up as something I offer as an author.
I am definitely going to be using you for the rest of Planet Dead series because I mean I do be needing an editor. Like I'm not gonna lie.
No, I know.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. But
But your storytelling is really strong. So I think that if even if you didn't use me, I would say any editor would probably be lucky to be able to work with you because I've also seen some things that are just
yeah,
even if I fixed every grammar mistake in it, it was just hard to read.
yeah.
And yours was not. Yours was good. Like,
Thank you.
so
That means a lot. Okay, so let's wrap it up and you just tell everyone where they can find you. Let them know all the avenues that you have for them to pay you because you know mama got bills. Just let them know.
she does. She really does. She's got bills and she's got mouths to feed.
Yeah.
So, um, so many mouths. I can be found at my website, which is vwilderathome.com. I am more likely to be found on Instagram and Twitter. On Instagram, I am author V Wilder, and on Twitter, I am V Wilder _author. I know I did that, but there we are. And then you can also find me on Patreon. If you look up Victoria A. Wilder, you should be able to find me on Patreon, or you can read the first 19 chapters of my novel Diva. You can also get a bunch of behind the scenes stuff for Lullaby. You can see some of the first draft chapters. You can see an interview that I did with Cayenne before I actually wrote the book, and a bunch of other stuff, pictures and fun things like that. And like I said, we'll be having that video game storytelling coming up next year. I think that's it. I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely gonna have to check out your Patreon because I'm just intrigued by Diva. I love the title and everything.
I love Diva.
Yeah. Well,
I do. It's the first draft that's on Patreon,
yeah.
so that's what I'm sharing is the first draft. And I do want when you were talking about Bella, I was thinking maybe I'll do the edited version and put that on Bella.
Yeah.
That way. But as the first draft, I'm obviously biased, but I think it's pretty good. I love going back and rereading it. I love the story itself is great to me. I love it. I love the characters. I'm obviously very biased, but
Yeah.
I would recommend people read it. And I'm really excited for when I get to it. I told myself that I wanted to finish the Lila 2 Journals of Asheron series before I publish Diva.
Yeah.
And I regret that a little because I love Diva. But I want to make sure I get this done. So that's kind of like my other prize at the end is
I mean,
I can put in Diva.
a lot of people have things to say about Bella, but I think it's a very fun avenue to just like explore and whatnot. Especially like the way I look at it as like kind of like a beta reading process. I can get feedback from readers if they like this or that, and I get paid while they read. So I'm just like, it is what it is. So
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
How much do you have on Bella now?
How much? I have the one.
Like how many stories or
I have the
chapters?
one story, Generation Slayer, the vampire story, and it had 37 chapters or 37
Oh, wow.
episodes. So
Not bad.
yeah, so and that one was done. So technically the book's done. I could pull it off of that because my original idea was to do it, pull it off of Vella, and then I'll publish it as a book. But I think I'll write book 2 and put book 2 on Vella and let them just chill there for a little bit before I decide to do anything else with it.
Okay. How many words per chapter? I feel like this is something we probably just talk about at another time.
It is something we could talk about, but I think it's like, I want to say like the lowest you can have is 600 words, and I think the highest you can have is 5,000 words per chapter.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely gonna need to look more into it. I mean, after this, I am probably gonna go back to sewing and messing around and forget about it till tomorrow. But if you message me
Okay.
in the group, I'm gonna look more into it.
Okay. I'll remind you. I'll pop up tomorrow and I'll be like, "You do that, Vella, yet?"
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I need. I need you to just be very serious about it, because I'm gonna laugh.
Okay, definitely. Well, you have a great night, and I'm gonna save this, and I'll send you everything so you can send it out.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This was great.
That was awesome. All right. Talk to you later.
Good night.
Bye.